When most people hear the phrase PC gaming, the first thing that comes to their mind is Steam. Steam is a central gaming hub of sorts where there is a massive library of games that are available for purchase, eliminating the need of physical disc and instead having the information of the game being stored in the computer storage system or in the cloud. A certain amount of these games are available as free to play, in which they cost no money to download and play. A lot of these games are frankly kind of shit, which is why I went on an expedition to find the best free-to-play games in the Steam library. There are 4 games which I am going to discuss today: OMFG, Super Animal Royale, A Long Time, and Totally Accurate Battlegrounds. These games, or at least most of them, I consider to be diamonds in the rough. Games that you may not have heard of. While CSGO and Path of Exile are both great free-to-play games, most everyone has heard of them, which means it would be totally pointless for me to put them in this video. This is supposed to give insight into the Steam library, so widely known free-to-play games were omitted from this list. The first game that I'm going to discuss is OMFG. OMFG stands for 1 million fatal guns, or 1 million fluffy guns, or 1 million something that starts with F, guns. OMFG is a fast-paced running gun / dungeon crawler hybrid. You run around shooting and blowing up robots, which have a chance of dropping a weapon with a random amount of a random type of attributes on said weapon. That's why it's called 1 million fatal guns. The amount of different combinations of weapons and weapon attributes is unbelievable. There are easily over 1 million unique combinations within the game. A lot of these different attributes are also really unique and something that I haven't seen before in any other game. Things like a minigun that launches robotic spiders is fairly commonplace within the game. There isn't a set objective within the game, only to get as high a score as possible. This more open-ended goal makes the game perfect for dumb, mindless fun. The game itself also plays very well. The advanced movement system is very smooth and works well. The gunplay is very basic, but for a game like this, it shouldn't be too complex in the first place. I also absolutely love the art style. It reminds me of a more modern or detailed version of more retro games, and I think it fits the atmosphere and genre of the game really well. Oh, and the soundtrack is banging. I love the music in this game, and it goes along perfectly with the pace of the game. Just listen to this. Overall, the game is a great choice for someone who wants a more fast-paced shooter game that reminds me a lot of the Doom series. The next game is Super Animal Royale. This game is a Battle Royale type shooter, which I know is a bit of an oversaturated genre at the moment, but this one provides some unique components that separate it from the competition. To start off, the game is in 2D. Kind of. It's not totally top-down or entirely sideways like other 2D games, but a bit of both. Structures also still obstruct your vision in this game. The camera angle doesn't let you see over objects. Visually, it is 2D, but gameplay-wise, it plays more 3D than you may expect. It's a really weird hybrid, like it's 2.5D. The gameplay itself is fairly simple. There aren't any really unique mechanics within the game, but the game still plays really well despite the gameplay being fairly basic. Where I feel this game really shines though is the art style. This simple sort of digitally drawn aesthetic I feel looks absolutely fantastic, and it amplifies the casual nature that the game is intended to have. A lot of games, particularly Battle Royales, have a very strong competitive nature to them, and players are constantly getting better and better to the point where it isn't fun for the more casual players. This game doesn't really have that competitive nature to it. You don't have to completely try hard your pants off every time you play. It is a perfect game for when you want to jump into some gameplay either alone or with a couple of friends and have a fun time. It isn't as rambunctious and fast-paced as OMFG, but it's still fun to play as long as you aren't getting caught out early game when you don't have a gun. The third game we are going to discuss is A Long Time. This game isn't multiplayer, and it doesn't have any sort of combat or action. In fact, it doesn't even have a set goal. All you do is walk and look at the scenery. The game is also only about 10 minutes from start to finish. So why is such a short and seemingly simple or even boring game on a list of the best free-to-play games on Steam? It is solely because of the atmosphere and the feelings that you get while playing the game. The sounds that echo throughout the entire game and the fact that everything is so much bigger than you is immensely unsettling. but at the same time, the bright colors and the total lack of anything that outwardly appears creepy is comforting in a way. These conflicting emotions combine to make an experience that you can't really get from any other game. I'm not going to go too in-depth about the game itself as to avoid any spoilers, but it makes you feel almost helpless. Not in an I'm in danger sort of way, but in an it is what it is sort of way, if that makes any sense. The fourth and final game in this video is totally accurate Battlegrounds. This is the exception to the diamond in the rough rule that I applied at the beginning of this video. This game is by no means unknown, but the fact that I have over 150 hours into the game and I just love it so much, there is no way that I'm not including it in this video. This game is clunky, to say the least. It is insanely hard to aim, the characters flop around like ragdolls, and the camera movement can sometimes be downright disorienting. So why do I love a game so much that on the surface seems very rough and undefined? Because it was made to be like that. The chaos has a structure to it. The developers have mastered the art of insane and overtuned ragdoll physics. The game is insanely rough but also polished at the same time. It is a standard battle royale with a safe zone that gets smaller and smaller. There is also the addition of blessings within the game. Blessings are in a way Tab G's versions of armor or shield, since those aspects are absent within the game. Blessings are just items you find on the ground that give you a buff, whether it be added damage over time to your weapons or a passive health regeneration ability. The actual in-game items and weapons are not what separate Tab G from other battle royales, however. It is again the goofy ass physics that the game has. Like how instead of dropping into the map with a parachute, you just slam Mach 5 into the ground. It is absolutely hilarious and has immense charm. It will never not make me just smile every single time I play the game. Steam has a lot of really shit free-to-play games, but within this realm of shit, there are some games of value. Among these games are titles such as OMFG, Super Animal Royale, A Long Time, and Tab G. Hopefully this video gave you something new to try out the next time you boot up Steam. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm Unbearable. See you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider checking out my other videos. If you did not enjoy this video, then, I don't know man, go take a fat shit on my lawn or something.